Super Sunday, everybody. We're back at it, moving the chains. It's been a little bit of time. It's kind of a dead time period for football right now, but we got some big news. Derek Carr retiring. My whole thoughts on that, being a Raider fan, being a big supporter. And we got the George Pickens trade, which I had a little bit of time to kind of digest that, what my whole thoughts were. I've been listening to other different avenues of media and all that shit. But I want to start off first with today's Mother's Day. As most of you know, I lost my mom 5 years ago. I just want to start off. I had a moment of silence. I want to give a shout out to my mom. I got her tattooed right here. KM for Karen McIntyre. So I just wanted to give my thoughts real quick. I love you, Mama Mac. I made a post today. And she will always be remembered. She was amazing. But I just wanted to thank you, and I'm humbled that I had a great life with my mom before she passed away. But now we're going to get on to football, because that's what we talk about on here. I do bring up life stuff, but I saw yesterday while I was working, Derek Carr retired. And I had a lot of different avenues on this one with Derek Carr. I talked to my dad this morning. You know, listen, I saw the stats this morning. I saw a lot of different Raider fans. My buddy Andrew that I met a couple years ago at the Detroit Lion game up in Detroit. Raiders were up there Monday night. Derek put up good numbers 2014 to 2022. Had a good 8-year run there. 35,000 yards, 217 touchdowns, only 99 interceptions. Almost a 91.8 pass rating, 92. Was good, solid, not great, but one of the more mentally tough quarterbacks. I know John Gruden touched on that today in the tweet that he had. I still love John Gruden, and I think him and Derek could have won a Super Bowl. And I don't know about Super Bowl, but, they had some good success there. Not the success that I wanted. I know the 2020 season started off great. Had the great win in Kansas City. Had the great win against New Orleans on the first ever Monday night game in Vegas. But I always found that relationship weird just because of the fact I always thought with Derek and John, they were two different personalities. Derek was family man, and he was kind of faith, family football, which is not a bad thing, but he's all into that. And John is intense. He's pissed. He's chucky. He's got that, my fucking tempo, that kind of fire, that kind of toughness, kind of a Bill Parcellsian kind of guy. And it was always kind of odd to me. When I look back, when Gruden first got to Oakland, 98, he had Rich Gannon. That, to me, felt like more of a fit to me than I would think Derek and him were. Just on the basis of, they both were kind of hotheads, perfectionists, that kind of thing. But it worked. And they had some success, and then the Tuck rule, so that kind of happened. And Derek and John had some. But I will say this with Derek Carr. I defended him a lot of times, and I got kind of tired of him near the end. I'll admit it as a Raider fan. But I will never dispute the kind of resilience this guy played with, the mental toughness. He was a life preserver for the franchise because we were a shit show. When we got there, we were a shit show. I mean, we had the Super Bowl disaster 2002 and went through a decade of futility until we got Derek, and we had revolving door quarterbacks after Gannon got hurt. When Derek Brooks kind of hit his neck and Gannon couldn't play anymore. I wish we would have done better for Derek in terms of getting him a defense and all that stuff. But I think it was time. Some guys just run its course in an organization. I give Derek credit. He monetized his brand. He made $200 million in his career. He's a mature guy. And it's a shame that we couldn't help him out more. Because I still think the 2016 season was such a magical, magical season. I think in my life, not just for the Raiders, but the Cubs won the World Series that year, and the Cowboys were back, and a lot of things just worked so beautifully in that 2016 season that it's kind of a shame. But congrats on Derek Carr. He had a good 11-year run. Solid. Won 4 Pro Bowls. Excuse me, cracking my neck here. But he had a run. So, the George Pickens trade. I think this is going to be Man. Here we go again. That's my first reaction when I saw that trade. I went, here we go again with Jerry Jones and stroking that ego. He needs his headlines more than he does building the team. And yet again, here we go. My first reaction was that. This is going to be so combustible that it's going to be must-see TV. I got to tune in now. I got to tune in. I've been saying this for the last year and a half to people. You guys are my witness. They're Al Davis now. They're the Al Davis Raiders near the end. I'm telling you, this is combustible. And, you got two guys now wanting the ball. And the only guy that's going to make this salvageable is Dak Prescott, who we could shit on Dak all we want, kind of like Derek Carr, kind of like Kirk Cousins. But the one thing I can't dispute with Dak Prescott, the intangibles that this kid has, the toughness he's been through, losing his mom like me, he's about as mentally tough a quarterback as you have in this league. With all the nonsense, with all Jerry and Ezekiel Elliott being a dumbass and all this other stuff, he's the only one that's going to life preserve this. And the downside I have with this trade, to me, and you could shit on the Bears when they got Chase Claypool from Pittsburgh. Chase Claypool was still in his rookie contract, had a couple years left on it. This is different because now George Pickens, he's only got one more year left. So you can get him for a 1-year rental, but now you're going to have to go, well, do we want to pay him? Because he's me, I. So that to me is the big question mark for them. It does make Dallas interesting in the standpoint of, okay, they needed a weapon. No doubt they get this guy. But this is a huge, huge risk, and I don't think a lot of reward. This guy is a dumbass. This guy's a volatile, immature idiot. I mean, he got suspended at Georgia, got in a fight, and then used a water bottle as a pissing thing to opposing player. And you think this is going to help? You're putting him in Dallas now? Pittsburgh, you can kind of hide. Kind of like Green Bay. You can kind of hide and kind of go bye-bye. You're putting him in Dallas now? With a lot of distractions? We've heard the stories. Eric Williams back in the 90s when he was the offensive lineman for the Cowboys. Michael Irvin with his shit. This is just combustible, man. And listen, I don't care. I'm not a Cowboy fan. But this is absolutely fucking hilarious. I can't wait to see this shit show go down this year. Because this, to me, screams like Jerry needs to validate something. Hey, Jerry, no, you don't. And oh, by the way, he's kind of cheap. I gotta be honest. He is Al Davis now. We keep forgetting. But he is. So, that's all I want to get on here and talk about tonight. Hope you guys are doing well. Adios. Godspeed. Love you guys. Have a great night.